Imagine how good they'll be with smell-o-vision.
I'm so upset. No one listened to this show. Cancel this whole show. Just cancel it. Like, we don't have to be doing this.
And on that note...
That's actually a pretty good segue into a topic that we didn't even consider for today. How much gaming would you say is too much gaming? Like, where is the line that you draw where you're like, oh wow, that person is super passionate about gaming and that person has a problem?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like passionate about gaming means that you probably do it for a living. Can you be passionate about a hobby?
For sure. Yes, for sure. I don't feel like you have to necessarily do something for a living to be passionate about your hobby.
Fair enough. Okay. I don't know. Maybe...
But I do think there's a limit. Like, when you start purchasing adult diapers, nope.
Yeah, it's got to be...
line, like...
You got to be able doing something else, right? You can't just be gaming. Like a day job.
Yeah.
Or going to the shops.
A job or another hobby or, leaving the house.
Leaving the house. Yeah, that's the first step. I think if you're not leaving the house, then it's going too far. Then it's... Yeah, you've got to be leaving the house. I mean, having a fridge next to your consoles is fine.
No, that's convenient.
Yeah. But...
Yeah, there's a difference between enjoying something inconvenient and it taking over your life.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't take over.
Like if you cancel seeing your friends like once or twice because you're like, oh, I'd rather sit at home and play League, that's also alright. But I feel like when you no longer see friends at all, because you're constantly blowing them off to play League, it's a little worrisome. Like,
yeah, that's a problem.
Take a break, rest your eyes, see the outdoors.
Even pro players take breaks, so...
How would you know, Cody?
I imagine if I was a pro player, I would take a break from gaming, right?
Yeah, but okay, like, you see, it's different types of passions, right? So I feel like it's harder, maybe, to take a break from gaming when it is just your hobby. The moment that you're a pro player, that is your work. Everybody be taking breaks from work.
Fair enough.
It doesn't matter how fun your work is. At a point, you're like, I just don't want to work anymore. I'm taking that break. Done.
I'm going to go have a bath and there's nothing you can do about it.
I'm going to go chill under the table a bit. See you guys in a couple of hours.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll go with that. Okay, so the defining factor is leave your house. If you don't leave your house, it's a problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like that's fair.
Yeah. But I mean, don't...
And we're not saying like you have to leave your house all the time.
No.
Like just every now and then leave it.
Yeah. Twice a week. Let's go with twice a week.
I thought for sure you were going to say twice a day. And I was going to be like, no, you need to calm that down. Maybe go into your yard twice a day.
Yeah.
But you don't have to be crossing the threshold into the outside world twice a day. That is madness.
Yeah, sure. Twice a week. We'll go twice a week. Start there and see where your adventures take you.
But why I brought this up, right? There was a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Is like... So we've assessed, there's the line. Gaming has gone too far when you no longer leave the house.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like your hobby has also, in fact, gone too far when you start investing in ridiculous things like a smell-o-vision.
I mean, is it ridiculous though?
Okay, first explain to people what a smell-o-vision is. Like, explain to people who might not know.
Smell-o-vision. Smell-o-vision is basically, I mean, they've been like toying with the idea for so long, but now apparently there's something where AI, or, I mean, everyone uses AI for fun. Whatever system they've built in this thing will detect what's on your screen and produce the smell of that thing, right? For more engrossing entertainment.
So all I'm hearing is that when you play CSGO and somebody teabags you, it is going to be an actual hate crime. Like an actual hate crime. No one wants this. I don't understand. How many games have you played in the last year that you're like, oh damn, I really wish my house smelled like that?
Okay, maybe one. So there's one. There's an opportunity.
What game?
It was wow, now the name just slipped
See, he's
my
lying.
mind.
He can't even think about it.
What was that
That's how you
indie?
know it's a
It was
lie.
that indie game that came out, and then they have a really cool cooking mini game.
That
in
really
it.
narrows it down. David Diver?
No, before that. Oh God.
Okay, but like maybe.
But like cooking
maybe
games
the
would be
people who
good.
want this play nicer games.
Yeah, like cooking games.
Yeah,
Or
but I'm sorry, my collection of games, no one needs to be smelling that. Like, it's not an added layer of immersion that I've been missing out on.
because you only play horror games, that's why. Imagine
And no one wants to smell
all
it.
you're doing is smelling like sweat because your person is literally sweating. Sweat and blood and old
Exactly.
people's skin.
That does not sound the nightmare. I'm actually horrified now. But I can't think of any. What would League of Legends smell like, Cody?
Forests and magic.
Disappointment. I don't know what the smell of disappointment is, but that is what that game is smelling like, and it's not nice.
I'd be curious to see what the system thinks things smell like. You know? I mean, maybe we don't know what disappointment smells like. Maybe AI does know what disappointment smells like. It's gonna tap into your
I will
core
say, though,
memories and bring that back.
years ago, I went to Hong Kong Disneyland, but I was there over their opening weekend. And in their one like movie theater, whatever you want to call it, they had introduced basically a smell-o-vision that was attached to everybody's seat.
Okay.
So as you watched the performance, it was like a food-based Disney performance.
Food.
But like they would have cotton candy and then the whole theater would smell exactly like cotton candy. Or they'd be making pancakes and all you could smell was the strong scent of pancakes. And it was crazy impressive back then. But yeah, maybe it is a technology best left for cooking games and not cooking games where you can mess things up. Overcooked does not need a smell-o-vision.
Burnt toast. Burnt.
My whole house will
Pie.
just smell like fire. Like, no one needs that. This is useless. Just go and buy yourself a nice little diffuser for your house and pick a nice smell and be like, oh,
Pancakes.
there you go. It's like those controllers that came out last year. Do you
Oh, the
remember?
pizza
for,
ones?
for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so that you can smell. Nobody needs that. I am already a fat child. I need no further motivation to go and blow all of my money on pizza and just shovel it into my mouth until I never want to leave the house and it becomes a problem.
I could go for a pizza right now, actually.
You see, and you don't even have a smell-o-vision. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
I don't know. I'm curious to see like what it does. Even if they're like play a horror game, that would get me to play a horror game. There you go. I'd play a horror game if we got a smell-o-vision, because I I'll be like,
Great,
I'm
well,
just so
you play a
interested.
horror vision if I just bring things that smell a certain way and shovel it up your nose while you're playing. I will be a manual smell-o-vision.
Okay, you set it up and then invite me when you've got all the smells ready. Okay, but if smell-o-vision's not your thing, like, what sort of future tech thing would you have wanted, or do you want? Like, what's a thing that you would like?
I have a thing. Okay? But the rest of the world is gonna disagree with me and think it's too extreme. But, so, years ago, there was a version of laser tag that you could go play in Joburg. It shut down. But the whole, like, novelty behind it was that you wore a vest that had multiple shock points on the vest. So while playing, if somebody shot you with a laser, you would get a small electric shock wherever you were shot.
Okay.
Which I loved. Because it just makes the whole, like, thing feel more immersive.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I loved it. I was like, this is great. I feel like that's what we need. So, like, my biggest draw to playing console games, especially PlayStation, is the haptic feedback you now get from your controller. So you can feel that trigger, you can feel tension,
Yeah, those
but I
adaptive
want that up.
triggers.
So if I'm playing with my mouse and keyboard, I also want that added level of feedback. And I don't know how that comes. I don't know if that means gaming chairs that maybe have a little bit of movement to them, a little bit of shake, or if it's my controller that ups that haptic feedback so you can actually feel the kickback if you fire a gun or if you're punched across the room or whatever the case may be. I just want an additional sensory feeling for my games, basically.
That's not your nose, obviously.
That is not my nose. My nose can literally be left out of it. Like, that is ridiculous. Also, another thing that I think is ridiculous is eyeball tracking. Like,
Why is that ridiculous?
Is just a ridiculous... because no one needs it,
But
right?
what about for VR?
Like, I've used it in the VR, right? You know what a natural thing is? To move your head around to look. Not to keep your head like this and just be the weirdo, like, moving your arm. No, My eyes are strained all of the time. If I move my eyes too much, there's a chance my contact lens is just going to go out of my eye. Don't need that. I need a little bit of an electric shock to keep me engaged in the game.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, it's funny that you brought it up because, I mean, if we don't get smell-o-vision, which I'm pretty sure we'll get, my next option was also like a haptic vest or something that you wear.
See?
But I mean,
Now you know it's a good idea.
Yeah, we should develop one. But have you seen that guy that builds his PC for Counter-Strike? And then he has all these crazy things that he does. And
No.
then so he's done, the two that I remember the most are, he got like a butt ton of lights, just so many lights. And then whenever a flashbang gets thrown, like literally
He
blinds
blinds himself.
He blinds himself.
I don't hate it.
He's literally blind.
I
And
don't
then
hate it at all.
he built this thing that you put in your thing. So imagine if you're holding
The thing that
holding
you
the
put in your
gun
thing.
like this in your I want to say elbow, but it's your shoulder.
In your thing.
And then when you pull the trigger, it kicks you, and he made it work differently for each gun. And he just
I
held
love
down
that.
on the
That
AK,
speaks
and
to
it
my
like
soul.
kicked him out of his chair. So I mean, you know, we're almost there. We just need that guy to create enough videos to get
Mass produce
to get
it.
funding. Yep, exactly. We're so
But
close.
honestly, I don't hate that. I think it's great. It adds that level of immersion that'll take you from just playing a game to being in a game.
I don't understand why so many people are losing their jobs though. It's like, it's a crazy, and it's so sudden. It's not like it's being spread over years and years or whatever. It's just
know
all of
what,
a sudden.
if you go have a look at the stats, because we got them last year to write about in the magazine, across board, the gaming industry has never brought in more money.
Yeah.
Like, it is officially now, gaming is worth more annually than every other form of media combined. So that means it brings in more revenues than movies, music, books, whatever the case may be. It is an absolute powerhouse.
Yeah.
But I think when you are working with small amounts of money and you have that keeping up with the Joneses philosophy, it's sort of alright because you're not influencing multiple people's lives. But last year specifically, all these companies seem to be trying to buy each other over, and not for small amounts of money. It was billions. It was absolute billions.
I mean,
it was okay, you're gonna be by them, then I'm gonna buy them, then they gonna buy them. And it was the financial equivalent of my dick is bigger than yours. And now, unfortunately, something's got to give, because they're out billions of dollars. They inherited way more staff than what they know what to do with because of buying over companies, everything. And for unfortunate cost of corporate greed and showing off, basically, is poor people losing their jobs.
Well, they were perfectly happy before, right? I mean,
yeah.
It's not like we were hearing about it before.
Let's say just for example, company A buys over 3 companies. Each of those 3 companies has an HR person. You don't be needing 4 HR people anymore because you already had your own HR people.
Yeah, maybe one extra.
And that is essentially the issue. Like, they've just inherited so many companies with so many divisions and so many staff, and now they're like, this is redundant, so we're getting rid of you guys. Which is completely unfair and shouldn't be the case.
Yo, when you have billions of dollars being thrown around, yeah. Nobody's thinking about the 4th HR person.
The small man.
Yeah. Unfortunately. I feel like you pretty much hit the nail on the head. There's not really anything else you can say. It's corporate greed. That's basically all it is. I mean, the Microsoft buyout was like trillion. It was like at 1 point something trillion dollar thing. Like, that's so much money. That's a ridiculous amount of money.
And like, again, we saw the fallout of that already starting now with Microsoft's layoffs. And then Sony spent however much money trying to compete with Microsoft and buying countless studios, and now we're seeing their layoffs. And Nintendo's just sitting there in the corner and being like, haha, we're gonna get our money other ways, bitches. We gonna sue people.
Shame. I mean, I've seen that story of the Nintendo CEO taking a pay cut pop up a heck of a lot as well these past few months, because the basic like apology letter is, this doesn't align with our business growth, right? And then they're like, so we're letting go of 18% of our workforce. And then that Nintendo story just keeps popping up, like, oh, he just took a pay cut, so nobody got fired. Maybe we need more people like him. And their lawyers team.
At a point, no, you actually hit a nail on the head. But it's not just in gaming, it's in everything. Every huge company in the world. At a point, there needs to be a cap on how much salary you are allowed to take and how big your bonuses are allowed to be. Because there is no person on this planet that deserves to be taking home $52 million in bonuses at the end of the year. It's just, you do not do enough to deserve that. It is unfathomable. I'm sorry. You are not a doctor. Okay? You are not saving people's lives. as a CEO, you are effectively a high-powered office worker. Calm down, relax, and take reasonable increases and bonuses. That is not the salary of 500 odd employees for a year. Like, that is ridiculous.
It's I don't even understand. What do you do with so much money? I can't even sit here and imagine that.
Money, and nobody should have a single annual bonus that could buy them an island.
No, yeah, that's ridiculous.
It is just unfeasible. It is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then you have countless other people who are basically working minimum wage who lose their income so that a CEO somewhere can buy his 4th island. No, calm down.
His 4th island. He can't have 4 HR people, but he can have 4 islands. Yeah. No, but it is. It's
no, but
it's
it really
crazy.
is. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. I hope that, you know, sometime soon we'll stop seeing these kinds of things happen. And I don't know, because, I mean...
Okay, but will we though? So I have an argument against that.
Okay.
In order to ever stop seeing that happen, you have to actually put a government law in place that stops it. Because unfortunately, if you are the person taking home a $50 million bonus every single year, are you going to give that up?
No, but I mean, surely once you've fired enough people...
But
there won't be anything for you to earn, right?
Because even if you leave, the person who takes over from you, they don't want to be less well off than you were.
No.
They don't want to be like, oh, but Cody was taking home 50 mil in bonuses. I don't want to only have 10 mil. So it's like an actual issue that isn't going to be resolved until people stop being greedy.
Or the consumers can stop buying all their stuff. Then the company goes down.
Yes, but you also shouldn't support emulators, as the Nintendo lawsuit has just proven. So your option is literally spend all your time out of a house, not playing any games, because definitely don't pirate games. Because if you pirate a Nintendo game, Nintendo is locking someone up.
Okay, but Nintendo needs to make money somehow, and they're not firing people, so...
But honestly, I spoke to Larry about it last night. Mm-hmm. I do not know how stupid you have to be to still be like circumventing anything to do with Nintendo.
Yeah, you're
like,
playing with fire.
Have we not, as a society, learned our lesson? They are so trigger happy and they always win. And they're willing to go to the most petty extremes, right? They will literally take you for your grandmother's pension that she left you. No, like, just leave Nintendo alone. Like, just leave them alone.
Yeah, we should.
Go and pirate all the Microsoft, Sony games that you want and leave Nintendo alone. Just stop. Like, I don't understand why people still want to try their luck with Nintendo.
It's not even like Nintendo's consoles are that expensive. Like, just buy the original and be safe. Just, yeah. Don't play with that fire. And you know, not gonna have a good Friday.
I mean, like, I wrote that article about Gary Bowser.
Yeah.
He was the first guy that Nintendo brought that hammer of justice down upon. But like, there's so much stuff that I didn't even put in the article because it was just so sad, right? The guy is literally on Twitter documenting his life now. He lives and rotates between multiple homeless shelters that'll take him. Because Nintendo is currently garnishing something absolutely ridiculous, like 60% of his wages.
Oof.
And because they sent him to prison first, he has that on his record, so he can't get anyone to pay him enough money that after Nintendo takes their 60% cut, he can still afford rent anywhere.
That's crazy. That's nuts. See, why would you tempt that? Nobody wants to be homeless.
Exactly.
Homeless, but on Twitter. Nobody wants
Exactly.
that.
And this man is like dad age, because when Nintendo initially came knocking on his door, he was already like 56.
Sure.
I think he's like 60 something now. No,
Sheesh.
ridiculous. Just leave Nintendo alone.
But also leave Microsoft and Sony alone. Arielle didn't mean pirate anything. She didn't mean that at all. Don't do that.
Okay, to be fair, you really shouldn't pirate anything, but you really, really shouldn't pirate Nintendo.
Yeah.
Okay, this is definitely not true. It's definitely probably not true, but it was
Okay.
amusing. There was a thing going around on Instagram about 2 weeks ago
Okay.
where some doctor was talking about there's this weird phenomenon that goes on where, as a human, you know how anything is going to feel against your tongue without actually putting your tongue against it. So if you look at, for example, this can that's on my desk, you can think and know exactly what it will feel like if you touch it with your tongue without actually having to do it.
But now
And it's
you
the only sense we can apparently do it with.
now you have to do it to confirm if you were right. How do you know if you're right?
Have you ever licked your dog? Have you ever licked your dog?
I've never licked my dog.
Okay. Can you imagine what it would feel like to lick your dog?
But I don't know. I feel like hairy.
Okay, go lick your dog and confirm. This
No.
is how we're doing scientific testing right now.
Why did you have to go to dog? Why couldn't you do something easier?
I don't know. That's the only thing I thought you might not have licked.
Okay, lick the can. You've got the can. Imagine what do you imagine what
But
it
I've
feels
definitely
like?
licked cans. I've definitely
Okay.
licked cans. 100% I've licked a can in my life.
Yeah, so you have to have
Also, I was
previously
a
licked
child
it.
who... Okay, I've never licked toilet paper. But I can picture what it's going to feel like on my tongue.
Okay, explain. Explain what you're imagining.
Okay, it's going to feel very dry and like sort of hairy. It's going to break down into lots of pieces. So like this dry, hairy texture.
Okay, now lick it.
I'm not going to lick the toilet paper on the podcast.
How are we gonna... Okay, go above the table and lick it. And then tell us if you were right.
And then for the rest of the show, I'm just going to sit here like picking little bits of toilet paper off my tongue.
Dry
Nope, I
hairy
refuse.
bits of toilet paper.
I just hit my elbow against my mic. Yes, I did. I'm dying, but it's fine. Can we move on? What is another topic? I'm so over this right now.
You don't want to lick dry hairy toilet paper.
My dog is giving me the most judgmental looks from the other side of the room.
Because he wants to lick your toilet paper. Let him lick the toilet paper and
Oh,
ask.
for sure. For sure he wants to lick the toilet paper. The other day, I was sitting writing news and I heard something. And I looked, and before I could even stop, he had grabbed the toilet paper, seen me look at him, and bolted. There was literally, it was a new roll. It was from the bathroom all the way through my house, all the way through the lounge, onto the patio, and he only let go of it outside. I'm like...
You're welcome, he says, as he leaves the door.
Yep.
My dog loves
See,
it
he was
as
getting
well.
me outside. He was like, you have a problem?
Ah,
You gotta go outside. There you go.
saving you from your demise.
Saving
it.
me from buying a smell-o-vision. Okay. Do you know all the details this week?
Yes, of course I do.
So, guys, if you want to read our words because you're like, holy crap, these people have annoying voices and even worse faces, we don't entirely blame you. Like, you might have a point.
Wait, hang on. Don't
case,
carry on. I lost the number.
I was gonna just say our website. I know that one.
Yeah,
Let me shine.
Wait, I need to. How? Where?
I was trying to shine, Cody.
I'm just preparing for an even better shine. I'm polishing.
I'm so upset.
Okay, shine on.
Okay, you can go to www. What is the company we work for called again?
Under the table.
It's that weird thing on your cap. That's probably going to be backwards. No, seriously, you can go to www.nag.co.za. You can read my words, Cody's words, every now and then some other people's words, just lots of words with pretty pictures thrown at you. If you don't have time for reading words and instead want to write your own words, you can contact us on hey@nag.co.za, I believe.
Yes.
Look, Cody's nodding. He's like, yes, that sounds right.
Correct.
And then you can leave us some words. If you don't have time for reading words or writing words and want to say words instead, where can they send us a voice note to?
Oh, voice notes. My turn. They can send us a voice note on WhatsApp at our company phone that just sits there and everyone has a listen to it. On 062-834-1919. Impressive.
That is cool. And where else can they watch or listen to the show?
Oh yeah, you guys can watch us on YouTube as always, but we have recently upgraded. You can also catch us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Yeah.
I mean, look, we've grown up now.
Yeah.
Look, Mom, we're big kids. We have our own podcast.
Yeah. Are we supposed to say goodbye now? Eat this thing and then you'll be like, nah.